What's up, my ninjas? Today, my special guest is none other than Miss Laura Pino. She is a fellow Fight Fit coach. And not only that, she's been a member of ours for the past few years prior to becoming a coach in our Stouffville location. If you've been part of her classes, you know she's that online voice and also running classes and demoing it out of her amazing backdropped Fight Fit basement. That looks like a professional studio. Laura, welcome to the show.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for having me.
So super pumped. I know you're super busy because you not only are a fitness coach, but you're also a real estate agent. So, I want to take it back to what got you started into fitness and in health.
When I was a little girl growing up, I was born in Mexico. Growing up over there, sports were not a thing, especially for girls. Like, if anything, boys were in soccer, and that was it. So my mom was, bless her soul, she tried me in ballet. She tried to put me in dance and piano and all these art stuff. And graceful and flexible, I am not. So I didn't really enjoy that, and but that was it. And but then when I was a little bit older, I saw my school had a basketball team, and I thought, I'll give that a try. That looks like fun. So the coach allowed me to join the team, and that was it. I fell in love with the sport, head over heels. And the more I grew up, the more physically it became, the more I enjoyed it. So I started. My parents never did any sports. My parents never. So it was a very new experience for me.
Mhm.
And I played for many years, many years. I got to play to a decent level, on a national level, and it changed my life because I was a very, very shy child, very intro. I'm an introvert, but as a kid, as a child, I was very, very, very shy. And basketball opened me up. Like, it allowed me to come out of my shell, and it changed me. So from then, then I had to, like, I went to university, and I had to stop playing because university got more serious and stuff. But sports have always been a big part of who I am. Like, I enjoy that part. I enjoy being active. I enjoy being physical. It makes me happy. So I've tried to stay on it.
So what, talking about you being an introvert and all, basketball is a very team-oriented sport. Yet your family and your parents put you into like individual sports, which typically you would have thrived in considering you're an introvert. Why do you think that was that you gravitated towards like a group sport?
I don't know. Maybe somehow I was missing that team, or maybe I never had it because I never was, open enough to give it a try. I don't know what, I really don't know what it was. I just needed something. Like, I knew I was not good at all the art stuff, like the dance, and it was not my thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw, a ball and people throwing and catching and running, and I was like, that looks like fun. I don't know what it was. I guess I was just maybe craving that team
Right.
work.
Right. That makes a lot of sense because being introverted, maybe you wanted the ability to convey, communication with other people, not in a verbal sense, but now in a more of a physical sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is awesome.
Possibly.
So you started in Mexico, and then you made your way up into Canada, Toronto. Did you end up landing in Stouffville where you are now, or?
No, when we first came, we didn't know anybody. We had no family, or we actually lied. We knew a guy who was my sister's friend. They were in Oakville, and they were nice enough. Him and his family kind of showed us a little bit around town. We landed in North York. We lived in North York for a couple of years. And then, I don't know, with work, I came to Angus Glen in Markham for a golf tournament, and I loved Markham. Like, I thought it was so pretty. I'm talking about 20 years ago. It was almost all farms.
Yeah.
So I just loved the openness and the green and stuff. So we moved to Markham in 2000.
Okay.
In the year
Okay.
2000, in 2000 we moved to Markham, and we were in Markham for about 15 years, and then we just needed a little bit of a bigger house. We had the kids, and we needed a little bit more space, so that's how
That's how you landed up in
Stouffville.
Stouffville. Very cool. And then while in Stouffville, that is when you found Fight Fit Stouffville.
That's it.
How did that happen?
Well, again, I always, even when I came to Canada, when we moved to Markham, I looked for a basketball league. And I go through the town. I went to the adult basketball open houses, or not open house, but the just adult leagues. And it was funny because it was all these 18-year-old boys and me. Anyways, I played for as long as I could, but then I got pregnant, and I had the kids and work, a full-time job, and so I stopped. I stopped exercising. I stopped for a long time. But then I got to a point where I needed to do something. And I'm not a gym person. I don't like to go to the gym on my own and, do the exercise. It's not my thing. So I was looking for a class of some sort. And I went it was still the old location in Stouffville.
Oh, yeah.
So I went, did my first try. I didn't even know what a burpee was, if you can believe that. And so I had to do my assessment, and I then did the class, and I was dying at the end. It was so hard, but I really enjoyed it. The only problem was that with my work, I was working downtown. There were not a lot of classes in that studio, so I couldn't join right away because the schedule didn't work for me. But then they said, just keep an eye out because we're about to move to our new location, brand new, beautiful location. And we'll have more classes. So I kept my eye out. I was like, as soon as they open, and as soon as it opened, I was there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to go back to before you decided to join. Like, what sparked it? Was there a time in your life where you're feeling out of shape? Were you not happy with where you're at?
Yes. So I was in a job where I was sitting all day, and snacking all day, and it was a very sedentary job. And then with the kids, like all my focus was when the kids were little, all the focus was on the kids. So it got to a point where I felt tired all the time. I had no energy. I was overweight. It was hard. It was, I needed a change. I needed to do something to change.
To get moving again. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you ended up finding our brand spanking location opened. Which is kind of fitting considering this is probably the last week that it was open, that we're having this conversation at this time. But that was over 6 years ago. What type of results did you see when you worked out with us?
I didn't join. I joined the gym, and then there were the 6-week assessments. I think the first one was okay. And the second or the third one that I had, I actually won that big belt because I remember you used to do the Biggest Loser or whatever. So I won that belt, and it was also around Christmas time. So it was a big accomplishment for me because it was hard work, and it was not easy during Christmas and stuff. But I managed to keep working out, and I managed to keep my eating under control, and I actually got this. So I didn't think I would win anything. Like I didn't even know I had lost that much. But it just, I don't know. You feel empowered, right? You feel the energy, and one thing that actually got me to stay in that gym. One of the big things that made me realize that's the place for me was the community, the support, and the encouragement from everybody else. I didn't like going to gyms because I feel like people are watching and they're like, oh, she's here, why is she here?
Right.
But here was completely different. Everybody was so nice and so encouraging and so positive. Yeah,
it's awesome. So let's go fast forward now. you ended up becoming a coach. How did that whole journey start?
Well, I've seen the emails because every now and then you would send an email saying, we're starting an internship. Are you interested? And I never was because I had my kids, I had my full-time job, and so that was not something I had the time to do. But then my company did a big reorg and got rid of my whole department. About, I don't know, 60, 70 people gone, and I was one of them. So I found myself thinking of the rest of my life, like, what do I want to do coming up? I wanted to look for something that would allow me some time for, to be with my kids, some freedom, to do something different. Anyways, then your email came again, and I thought, I used to coach basketball too. So I used to, when I stopped playing, I did some refereeing, and I did some coaching. So I thought, oh, I've coached before. How hard can this be? But it was different. I coached children, not adults. And being an introvert, yelling at a room full of adults was something that I didn't know I could do.
Yeah.
But I signed up, and I even told you, I don't know if you remember this, but I even told you I would be like bottom of the totem pole. Like I have a lot to learn, and I have a lot to work on, but I would like to give it a try.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing. And I tell this about our team. I actually don't hire ever on skill set, because skill sets can be taught. Skills can always be taught. What I hire on is on attributes. And the fact that you're willing to go and take that step out of your comfort zone and do something completely different, and be willing to go through the hours, because it's not easy. Like you said, as an introvert, stepping in front of a group of people. But that's the kind of attitude that you want with coaches, because coaches are the type of people that have to lead by example. They have to do the things that clients aren't willing to do in order to demonstrate that it's possible.
Right.
So I give you a lot of credit, Laura. Amazing transition. So talk to me about some of the biggest learnings from you starting, as you say, from the bottom of the totem pole, which I don't think you were, because I think you have skill sets that you brought in from other places that you added to it, from there to where you are now. So talk to me about the journey about that.
It's been a very interesting journey, because from the beginning, I've had so many different coaches. And that's another thing I liked about this place, that there were so many different coaches. There was a lot of variety. The classes were never the same. So I was very lucky to learn from a few people, actually a lot of people with different backgrounds. So anywhere from people who just did kickboxing to people that had boxing backgrounds or martial arts background. And I'm talking from before. Mm-hmm. Now, even more, right? Like we have such a variety and such a wealth of knowledge and different experiences and stuff that I think, as you say, always, right? It's a white belt mindset. I'm always learning, and I'm always watching others and what others do and what works and what doesn't work and what I like and what. So it's been interesting. It's been a learning experience. Like I continue to learn, I continue to grow, I continue to take on things, and to, because I want to get to that level, right? I want to be like a par with all the other coaches. It's crazy.
And I think you are. But let me ask you this question. What do you think, and this is maybe for the viewers who may be thinking about going into coaching, what do you think was the most difficult thing? What was the hardest thing out of the whole journey? If you were to pinpoint one thing.
I'm going to say, as I said before, I think commanding the room, right? Because online is different. Online, I'm talking to all these people, but they're not here with me. So I don't have to like, they can hear me and they're at home and they're paying attention. But in a gym full of people, it's loud, there's music, there's people talking, so commanding the room at the beginning was what I felt I was lacking. Like it was hard for me, again, to yell at a room full of adults. Mm-hmm. But again, it took me out of my comfort zone, and it made me realize that there's different ways. You don't have to just yell. There's different ways to, lead by example, show, engage. So I had to learn that, not the hard way, because it really wasn't the hard way, but I had to learn that, and I had to apply everything that I could see everybody else doing to my own personality and my own
Right.
skills.
Okay. What do you, okay, so that's a great, commanding the room is one of the most difficult and challenging things for you. What would you say was one of the most rewarding things about this whole coaching journey for you?
It has to be, it hands down had to be when people say that was a great class. So if people enjoy what I'm doing, then it tells me that I'm doing the right thing. So when someone enjoys my class, or when they come back to my class, or when they say, oh, when are you coaching next, because I want to be there, that is the most rewarding part.
Awesome.
For sure.
Awesome. Getting that instant feedback.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go back to what you said about like, that what you said in terms of that mindset of being lowest in the totem pole, and where I don't think that's true. I feel like the fitness industry is filled with people like that, have a lot of bravado and have a lot of, on the outside, may look the part, but really what they lack is the skill set of talking to people, like you were saying, engaging with them, commanding a room. And those are the things that's important when it comes to coaching, I feel, because there's a lot of great trainers out there that are like, no, I would say there's a lot of not great trainers out there that look amazing and look like they know what they're doing, but lack the communication skills, lack the people skills, lack all those things that are required to actually help people get results at the end of the day. What are your thoughts on that?
It's true. It's it depends on how the rapport with people. You need to have that approachability. You need to have, they need to be able to relate to you, which is one thing that I think I can offer. And when I started, I felt that way. Like I came in and there was this young kid, the coach, young, obviously younger than me, and super fit, and with all these martial arts background, and I'm like, he's probably think I stink. Like he's probably gonna think, like it's hard to relate to someone like that until they start talking to you, and then you realize they're there for you, and it's perfect. But I think what I also bring to the table is that I'm a mother of 3 kids. I'm a middle-aged woman. I am not young, and like, it's we have a lot of clients like me.
Absolutely.
Right. So I feel like they can relate to me. They can say, well, if she can do it, then it's possible. You know what I mean? It's
absolutely
not. Yeah.
And that's your strength. And almost, Laura, you say you're at the bottom. I think you're at the highest in the totem pole for this, because you're right. Most of our clients are around that age, have gone through those struggles of bearing children, deal with those aging issues, and you know that firsthand, and you still go through that right now. So
Right.
Talk to me. I want to talk about that. Like now, because we've talked about, like, as coaches, we want to lead by example. What do you think are some of your biggest challenges that you face, like at this age group?
100%. No question, stupid hormones.
Okay.
I'm getting to a point where my body starts changing, and it's harder to lose weight, and fat starts, accumulating in certain areas that it's harder to get rid of. Hormones play a big role. You get to an age where changes happen, and it's very hard. So I struggle with that, and so I understand what that is and how hard that is. And even if you are doing everything, my metabolism is super slow, super slow. So I can be on a challenge for 3 weeks and see no changes until the 4th week. So it's very, like, I understand when people say, I don't see anything, it's like so slow. And I can say, hang in there, because it will happen. It's just that your body needs to understand what's happening. Your body needs to realize there's a change, but it takes time. So I get that.
Love that. Yeah. So what would you tell, so somebody that told, like, what do you do specifically to work through those challenges of it taking a little bit longer?
Patience, and don't give up, because it's very easy to give up. I've given up before. I've started challenges before, and I get into like week 3 and I'm like, okay, forget this. I have to rush and I'll just grab something on the way. And so I've been there. I have done that. So patience, and talk to someone else. If you're having a challenge, if you're having a challenging day and you're like about to reach for that bag of chips or whatever, just send us a quick message or send your friend a quick message, because there's a lot of friendships at the gym too, like a lot of people that support each other, right? So get one of your friends or get one of your coaches and just send an email and say, listen, I'm like having a bad day, what do I do? Like, what do you recommend? Just and if you do fail, because it will happen sometimes.
That's life.
That's life. If you fall, take your time getting up, brush it off, and go and keep going, because it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get up.
Love that.
Right? Been there, done that many times.
That is awesome. And that's some great advice. Having that accountability is super important. Even more as it sounds like even more as you get older and as family becomes more important, kids and become a priority. It's a challenge to reach out to your friends, because they may not be maybe in the same situation where they're dealing with families. They can't be that support you're used to have. So that's why having a coach is so important. Love that, Laura. I'm going to go switch gears into some of our client questions that we've posted. I thought that thought would be perfect for you to help answer. So I will start off with this first one. Is Kanika asks, how do I keep my protein intake high when I can't eat that much?
All right. So first of all, then try to keep that protein in the forefront. So if you can't eat that much, get that protein in first, and then complement with or supplement with your veggies and your carbs or whatever. So keep those protein shakes with you all the time. Have your protein shake glass or your shaker in your car, or close to your door, so when you have to go out and you have to run or whatever, you have it with you, and that's a great source of protein.
Love that you can just take the first things first. Protein shake. I would add the protein shakes. How important it is to actually use protein shakes, because from a ingestion standpoint, it's much easier to drink your proteins than it is to eat it. And number two, from a cost perspective, because you can't have protein breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. So protein shake supplementing is definitely a great way to increase that protein intake. So let's jump to the next question. Amber asks, how do I fit in normal life after a challenge is complete?
Fit in normal life. Well, normal life can be a lot of things, right? It can be very busy. Try to keep so you did the challenge, portions, timing, what you need to have. Try to keep that as much as possible. So I know once you go back, once you finish, you want to add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. If you're not going to do another challenge, if you're not going to follow it 100%, do the 80-20 rule. So 80% of it, go for clean eating, go for your plan. The other 20%, if you have to go out one day, if you have to, add something, then do it. But keep active. If you're not in the gym, go for walks. It's beautiful outside. Go for bike rides. Do a workout with the kids if you have kids. Get the family involved.
Love that. Love that answer. And also, you mentioned something. What is normal? Like, what's their new definition of normal? Right. Us going through this pandemic, there's now a new normal. Just like when you finish the challenge, there should be a new normal in your life. I think the one thing that people fail at when they complete a challenge is they don't set new goals.
Right.
I think that is probably the number one thing of how you fit into normal life, is that you set new goals. You work with your coach, whoever, to set new benchmarks. Because what ends up happening is we've done the work for you. We said, hey, this challenge is X amount of time and X days, and that's all done for you. And that goal is there. But what ends up happening is there's no goal after.
Right.
And then it's like, everything gets thrown out the window. Life gets busy, kids, work, everything. And then we go back to our old habits. So after a challenge, set new goals. That would be my little addition to what Laura said. Next question is Elizabeth asks, How do I keep my energy up? I feel tired all the time.
One of the things that people don't realize is how important sleep is. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you work out. It doesn't matter if you eat healthy. If you don't have a good night's sleep, it does matter, because it's still important, but sleep is very, very important. So what I found with this Trainer Eyes app now is and I need reminding too, for sure. There is a reminder to turn off your phones 1 hour, 2 hours even before bed. No electronics. Get them out of the room, or if you need them because I tell my kids no electronics before bed, or and they're like, but it's my alarm. Okay, fine. Set your alarm and put it face down on your bedside table, and don't look at it anymore. Just unwind, grab a book, or just watch TV if you want to watch it, something else, but no Facebook, no emails, nothing like that. And set a time to go to bed every day. I know it's hard, especially now if you have older kids like mine.
Mhm.
They're not going to bed until I don't even know what time, because I go to bed before them. Set a time for bed every day, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever it is, set that time and go to bed. And even if you don't fall asleep right away, just stay in bed. Just, think of your favorite place, think of the beach, think of something like that. Don't think of your grocery list for next day. Don't think of what you have to do next week. Just relax and try to get a good night's sleep.
Awesome. I'm going to touch on, I love the fact that you brought up sleep and getting away from electronics. That is the simple, no cost way to get better sleep. I want to actually talk about supplementation into this, because it may play a role into it. Couple different things. A good multivitamin to keep your energies up. It may be a deficiency in something. But also at nighttime, a couple different things that could help. Melatonin is a good one to use to get deeper sleep. A lot of people take magnesium to get deeper sleep and to have better recovery. And also, actually, I'll start with just those two. So a good melatonin to get your sleep cycles. If you are not on a routine, say for instance, you came back from a trip. What I'd like to do after a trip is that I pop melatonin at the same time every night in order to get my body back into a routine, like Coach Laura was saying. But also, I like to do magnesium because it helps me recover and also gives me deeper sleep. So do all those things first with the night routine, and pair it with some type of supplementation could help optimize your sleep and in turn give you more energy throughout the day. Love that. I want to end this off. I always love this question because I believe everybody's life is kind of like a hero arc movie where we get beat up, we come back, and we come back even better. So what is I used to ask, what's your favorite Kung Fu action movie? But I'm going to ask this question. What's your favorite comeback movie of all time? Someone who's like a hero arc where somebody gets beat up, comes back, and becomes a brand new person.
Okay, so this might sound funny. Growing up, I was a huge Mel Gibson fan. Huge. I had a huge crush on him. So his Lethal Weapon movies were like my favorites growing up. The first one, he's this crazy policeman that nobody wants to work with. Nobody wants to, like, everybody think he's like suicidal and he's dangerous and he's like, nobody wants him. Nobody wants to work with him. And then he gets assigned this guy, and it's a struggle through the whole series, because it's like 4 movies or something.
Yeah.
But at the end, he is, they become such good friends, and he's like a real good cop. It's just that he is just different, and he feels he needs to prove himself. And I don't know. I just had a crush on him, but his struggle, yeah, I know, big crush. His struggle, and he's trying to prove that he's a good cop and that he's not crazy. It's I don't know, it's really cool.
Awesome. I actually I don't think I've watched the Lethal Weapon series yet, but
you have to.
One I'm going to add to my movie list for sure. Laura, I appreciate all your info and your insight into your life. What's the best way for clients to get a hold of you or people to reach out to you if you want to learn more about you?
I'm on Facebook. You can find me on any of the Fight Fit groups. by email. My information, I think it's all on the website as well. So
yeah, awesome, Laura. I appreciate you spending your time for me, and not only being a client, but also being in this crazy journey in the last few months with us. So much appreciated. And thank you for being on the show and sharing your secrets on health, wealth, and being kick ass. You are a ninja.
Thank you.